Happy Pride Month, everybody. This is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Eric from Sex Education. So this will only pertain to that of season 1 of the Netflix show Sex Education, only because I've only seen the first season. Because, since I don't have Netflix, I can't, watch the others and stuff. And so, I really have no honest to God idea, what his character does in the other 2 seasons, because the show lasted for 3. And so I know he gets in other relationships and stuff, but other than that, that's all I know. Now I do know that from what I've heard from other people said that there are a lot more LGBT people in the 2nd and the 3rd season, even characters that you would never guess and stuff. And so Sex Education is a show I really enjoyed the first season. It was so funny and just interesting and stuff. And it's Eric, he was one of the best characters on that show. I believe the actor, whose name I cannot pronounce, I believe he's going to be the new doctor on the Doctor Who show. And so the thing about Eric is that he's just infectious. He's one of the most likable characters ever written on television. And the thing about him is that he's great representation for the LGBT, and not only that, but he's so easygoing that his character is written so well, he never feels forced on the show like other characters, whether they be straight, gay, lesbian, or whatever. And so the thing about what was so smart about the writers is that they wrote him to be so likable and so lovable and stuff. There are times where he outshines every other character on the show, and even that of the main character, Otis. Otis is his best friend. They do everything together and they accept each other for who they are. Otis is straight, and of course, Eric is gay. But Otis could care less. That is his best friend, and they've been best friends for 9 years. And the thing about them is that the thing about them and their friendship is if you didn't know Eric was gay, you would assume that these two were just straight buds hanging out and stuff. Because how often do you see a straight guy hanging out with a gay guy and they're best friends? That's something very rare you see in the real world. Normally you'll see a straight woman, hang out with a gay guy and stuff, but it's never the other way. And writing like this is so smart because it allows people in the real life to see this and accept it and be all what, there's nothing wrong with that and stuff like that, And, it's really cool to see him and Otis always just hang together. However, those two did have a falling out in the first season. I can't quite remember exactly what happened. But when I say Otis and him do everything together, heck, Otis would even dress in drag along with him. It was Eric's birthday, I believe, and something happened to Otis where he ditched Eric. And Eric was very, very far away and had to catch the bus somewhere. And I think he missed his ride back or something. All I remember is this. Eric's walking back in drag, and I think it's the middle of the night, and some guy pulls up thinking Eric is a woman, but it's not. And I believe the man beat the crap out of Eric and stuff. This causes Otis, I believe, like I said before, I'm not 100% sure, because it's been years since I watched this and stuff. And, Otis is beside himself and feels terrible about ditching him and stuff like that, because, Eric's father's worst fear came to life. You know what I'm saying? Now, as for his father does not like the way Eric conducts himself. He comes from a very, very religious Christian African background. And in Africa, they ban a lot of LGBT stuff. In fact, they banned Black Panther 2 because of the 2 lesbian couple in that movie. And so his father does not approve, especially the way, Eric dresses. Eric is very, very flamboyant and expresses himself through his clothes and through his makeup whenever he decides to, make himself look a little more fancier than normal. And whenever, sometimes he dressed kind of like in a girlish kind of way. And, the thing about his father, what his father told him was like, the thing that gets him the most is that he's terrified for his son. He's afraid that people are not going to accept his son for who he is because of the way he dresses and the way he acts. And he's afraid that one day his son is going to end up in the morgue. And, that is his biggest fear right there. Not, and of course, him just being gay in general, but it's not so much the gay thing. It's just he doesn't want nothing to happen to his son. But after something happens, his father comes around and start accepting him for who he is. Because Eric came out to his family when he was 9 and his father did not accept. Then Eric, I believe, it was assaulted sexually and everything when he was younger. And so at some point it caused him to stop believing in God. Like when he came out, he stopped believing. When he got assaulted, he started to believe again. When it comes to Eric, pretty much everybody accepts him for who he is at school, except for one person. It was funny because there was a time when this girl named Lily is extremely horny, nerdy girl with huge boobs and everything. And she's constantly trying to bang guys, but she's unsuccessful. And she tries to bang Eric for him to tell her, yo, I'm gay. So after that, they just start dressing up in girly clothes and they start watching gay porn, to where they interrupted by Eric's father, who is not at all too happy. I believe Lily came out herself in later season. Like I said before, a lot of characters came out in the previous seasons that came out after this. And like I said before, I don't know anything else that really happened with Eric after the first season, because I have never seen the second or even the third. I gotta get Netflix one day. It's not much money. It's just I really hate Netflix. It's I really hate them and stuff. They have ruined physical media and they have made so many networks so greedy for money and stuff. It's insane. Adam is the bully towards Eric in the first season. Eric goes as far as to beat him up constantly. Eric plays the French trumpet, I think it's called, the French horn. I think it's called the French horn. But, Adam keeps calling him a tromboner because he thinks he's playing the trombone, which he doesn't, because he plays the French horn. Throughout the entirety of the first season, Eric is terrified of Adam, because Adam is constantly trying to beat him up or pick on him and stuff like that. And it's really sad to see Eric, be terrified of somebody, especially when Adam's girlfriend is such a nice person. She's dipsy in the head, but she's really nice. And so at some point in time, you start to see Adam give Eric the look at one point, and it's kind of odd. So then it's oh, hold up, I know exactly what's going on. So one day when they had detention and stuff, they got into a physical altercation and everything. They started pushing each other around, and Eric stood up for himself. He tells what's his name that Adam has caused Eric to hate himself, and Eric is never going to go back to that part of his life. He's never going to stay hidden. This is who he's going to be. He's going to dress who he wants, how he wants to dress. He's going to hang with who he wants to hang. He's going to talk the way he talks and stuff like that. Nobody is going to make him go back into that scared, shy little person who was in the closet. And, it's great that he stood up for himself, but then it happens. They start to make out. Then, Adam, I can't say what he did. Let's just say Adam played his trombone and stuff like that. And secretly, Adam was a homosexual and everything. He was closeted. And Adam's frustration, he unleashed it in always attacking Eric, because Eric is open and everybody accepts him, but Adam is too afraid to be that way. And we see this with a lot of people. There's so many low-key gay men who act like they hate gay people. It is insane. We've seen this in like conservative politicians, even like people who are in hate groups. They are secret, like who say they hate, like, the LGBT. They are secretly like that. One guy got revealed on Twitter just recently, because of this whole Target thing that's been going on. And like, this one dude who's been arrested multiple times for the things he's been saying and want to do to the LGBT community. He got found out because he's on Grindr and stuff. And it's like they're always low key and they pretend to hate so it deflects off them and stuff. And so you really gotta watch when you know a person who says they hate like the LGBT and everything. Secretly, they might be one of them and stuff. And it's weird because there are so many like conservative people who are LGBT and they hide it and stuff. And so the thing about Eric and Adam is that they never get the date because after that, Adam goes to military school and stuff. But when it comes to Eric, like I said before, I really like how the writers wrote him. They really wrote him to be a great representation and stuff. And it's to the point where people literally wanted him to be like the main character instead of Otis, because that's how likable they wrote that character. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.